Ciao, prendo un caffè macchiato freddo, una pasta al pistacchio e poi se mi puoi dare anche una aranciata, cioè una spremuta, ok?
Con ghiaccio senza?
You want ice?
Yeah, why that? Con ghiaccia, grazie.
E un bombolone alla crema.
Ok.
Prendo io? Parti? Ok, perfetto, grazie.
Tell me, what is it that you usually order around here? Which
I-
one is your favorite?
No, the one with pistachio.
And that is a cornetto, right?
Yeah, I call it in Bolognese, that is, we call it pasta.
Pasta.
Ah, per me, sto di qua.
E questo qua piccolino, dicevo. Sì.
So we're at the, what was this bar called?
This is the Rafael Bar.
Rafa, we do have a title around here.
Yes.
Oh, look at that beautiful thing. I think the others don't mind. I'm just gonna zoom into the Rafael Cafe over there. And is this usually, Alessia, where you go to get your stuff?
Yeah, normally I wake up very late, and so this is the first bar I normally go to, my street. And so, yeah, I normally wait here also because the sweets are very, very nice, and so I like to have breakfast here.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you usually
Should I
get?
look you, the camera?
Whatever feels natural, my dear. Don't worry.
Okay.
You know, it's I promise you.
No,
You know,
I
you
don't-
can do this, you can do that. Don't
no,
worry
just-
about it.
I don't
you
know, just because I don't know if I have to look there or you. That's why.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you prefer?
Or you could look at the camera. That'd be
Okay.
nicer for you
Okay, I will look at the camera.
And give it 10 minutes, and you'll get used to this.
Okay.
So it'll be better.
I normally am very sleepy girl, so here is the time I really get up and I awake myself and I start to remember which are the classes I will have in today. So I put like a sort of mindset for understand what I'm going to do this day, and that's it.
Yeah,
Just
wonderful. Oh, look what's arrived. Thank you.
Grazie.
Che belle, grazie mille.
Lui.
Sì, per me, grazie. Let me just see, what did you get for our students? What could they get expecting to come to the Rafael bar? You have the beautiful espresso? What is it?
Yeah, the cafe.
The cafe?
This is normal coffee, and I add sugar in it, and then there is milk, and I add it quite all of it. So
And could you say that, is this a cappuccino basically?
it's not a cappuccino.
I thought cappuccino was espresso plus milk.
No, it's different. There is also some spuma, some milk gets shaken, and there is a sort of. It's very different. Also, the
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Also, she was so kind to order me something also, like, what do you call this?
bombolone alla crema.
Bimbolone.
Bombolone, yes.
Oh, with cream, how nice. And then some fruit juice, how nice. And then you got the cornetto, but you told me this is called something else in Bologna.
Pasta. So it's like pasta with, we call it pasta. I don't know why. It's like this. I order the pasta.
So what do you call the pasta that is the...
The pasta of the morning.
But what do you call the pasta that is the other pasta?
No, pasta.
I guess it's all about the...
The time
Yeah,
you're
it's all about what you're referencing to. And is it good?
super good.
Could we just film the inside, because I'd like to get the pistacchio, crema di pistacchio. Let me see. Okay, so I'll be, just following you. But yeah, it's a very gray day in Bari. we're going that way. So we're here with Alessia,
Hi.
a fifth year student of the BEMS course. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So yeah, I'm Alessia Mora, and I'm now in the fifth year of the medical school, so quite close to the end, so 1 year missing. I'm also a student representative because when I came here, I went very close to an association, so started to enter in university bureaucracy. And yeah, so I normally go to class from 8 to 2, which is like going to high school back.
Yeah.
Terrible timing. And yeah, we have class of 6 hours, and then in the fifth year we start our thesis, so we do practical activities.
That's right, that's right. We might go to that even later, because hopefully if everything goes well, we'll be following you
Yeah,
with your thesis
yes.
work. But where are we going right now? Where are we headed?
Now we're going to Convitto, which is the place I normally do classes. This is the name. The nice thing about Bari is that we do classes inside the Policlinico, which is quite unusual because in other universities normally you do classes in university building outside.
Yeah, let
And
me
here,
just, forgive me for interrupting. I just want to show a little bit of the hospital area. So this would be the Policlinico area, which is just, it's another word for a big hospital
Yes.
area, right? So that is sorry for interrupting you, but
No
that's a little
worries.
bit unusual. You're not in the university, you're actually in the
Like we are
hospital.
actually in university areas within the hospital, because this is a university hospital. It's not just, we say it in Italy ospedaliero, but it is universitario. So
Exactly.
our classes belong to the university, of course. But yeah, it's not like going to the city center of Bari where there is Ateneo, and so.
So how do you think that might be different from, you're in the hospital area studying medicine compared to being in the university, maybe far from the hospital? What are your thoughts on that?
I actually think this is super, super nice for us. It's a great opportunity because we are very close to the hospital settings. So if I want to go to see something, here in Bari we are allowed to go everywhere. And so I don't have to cross the entire city, for entering the hospital. And so, for example, some classes are held close. For example, some of our pediatric classes are held in pediatria, so in the department of pediatrics.
Yeah.
And so it's very strange because when we enter, we see babies crying, mothers, fathers with their child. So it's quite unusual, and you enter in the mood. This is very nice.
You get the hospital feeling in a sense. Oh, that's
Of
fantastic.
course, we are isolated from other students, so from the students studying mathematics. And so this makes us like feeling in a unique environment, in a special one.
Yeah, and a good one,
Yeah.
I'd say, since
A
we're
good one,
becoming
yes.
medical students. All right, very good, very good.
And also there are a lot of trees, so it's very, very nice.
It's a very green area, just like Alessia saying. So we're right now at the pediatrics classroom.
Ciao, Gianna!
I love that. We're about to start the class. And
Yes.
would you just talk a little bit? So this is the classroom, we're in the pediatrics building. What is it that you are learning right now?
Now in our second semester, we are learning about gynecology and obstetrics, pediatric surgery, and mainly pharmacology. We also did some lessons on legal medicine and occupational medicine. And today's class is about 2 hours of pharmacology, and then 1 hour of occupational medicine, and then again 2 hours of pediatric surgery.
Yeah.
So this is about our today's class.
And the class starts usually at 8. I just want to make the point here with the strong absence of even the professor. What time is it now? We
It's
can just to
8:14.
prove it. It's 8:14, and but so that is also, maybe we can mention a little bit about the standard Italian time, I call it. So what's that?
Like me and Osam today arrived early just because we had to be on time, but actually I normally arrive at 8:30 because professor normally in Italy come a little bit late. So we call it the quarto d'ora accademico, so like normal 15 minutes late in class.
And you have to add 15 minutes to that. It's, how do you say, 30 minuti? Is that what you say?
30 minuti,
30
yes.
minuti.
30 minutes.
Accademica. In Bari, at least.
But you know, there is a difference because medical professors that are clinicians normally are late in the morning, but surgical professors, so doing surgery stuff, so for example, pediatric surgery professor, they are super on time because they are used to have surgeries like at 7, so to be in the hospital very early, so they come to class very, very early. Like our professor of neurosurgery, which is very, very good, and he's the head of the neurosurgery department, came to class at 7:59 and started the class at 8:00. So for us, it was a shock because we were used to arrive at 8:30, and he was super on time.
Yes, yeah. Very,
That's how it
very
works here.
professional. So you see a range of difference
Yeah.
as you're here. That's right. So how are you enjoying this class, the pediatrics? Is it something of interest to you?
It's nice, this class, because we are close to another bank class, which is the 4th year, and we know each other. So when there are break times, we can go outside and chat. And it's super nice because there are the vending machines. And not in all classes, the vending machines are so close, and they are super important for coffee breaks, you know.
A lifesaver.
For energy. And so I like this thing about this class. Unfortunately, it is on the opposite side of Policlinico. So for a lot of people, it's like 10 minutes walking throughout the Policlinico. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. And the class in 4th year, they're just behind this wall. Is that true?
Yes, that.
Just behind that wall. So 4th year and 5th year getting together. Super nice. We're just outside the pediatrics with Alessia. So, just first question: how was the lesson? What did you think?
The lesson
And
was, very interesting, and also the professor was very committed to us. So, like, asking us questions so that we could actually keep the focus to the lesson. And this is very nice because sometimes we have this block of 6-hour lessons. So having professor that engage us, ask us questions is nice.
instead of just reading from the PowerPoints, as you
Exactly.
said.
Yeah. Exactly.
But then you eventually, even if you have a good professor, you need a break, right?
Yes.
And this is what a lot of people do during their breaks. They go to these machines just outside, and so are you, right?
Yes. I'm
what-
taking coffee as usual.
Yeah, we're having a coffee here. Very good. All right, so we're here at the break.
Yes, we're at the break. We have 1 hour of break.
Yes, usually we would have a lesson now in about maybe 15
Yeah.
minutes, but it was canceled.
Yes.
So, what does one usually do during the break here in pediatrics? What do you do usually?
Like, we normally go outside, we chat, we talk about ourselves, about what we are going to do. We organize dinners together. So it's like a very nice moment where we can, get in touch with other students and know them better. A nice thing about BEMC is that it's about like very few students in the class, and this actually helps us in order to know us better, differently from Italian medical courses where there are like 300 students, and so of course just few of them. Here we know all of us, so this is very, very, very nice. It's like a high school class here in Italy, so we are very few and we know each other. Oh, sto cappellino, ma mi sta bene?
Perché non hai detto che...
Perché deve essere casual.
Alessia, io devo passare, tu mi stai...
Oddio. Ma mo' è che devo versare il caffettone in faccia e deve essere il video della poppa. Ah, abbiamo un microfono. And I will always...
So I was thinking about that because now you're an Italian student
Yes.
studying an English international course. So what were your thoughts behind that, going with this international course instead of the Italian course? So
I think actually that we have more advantages in terms of course, knowing each other, also knowing the professors, because since we are very few, we can know better the professor. The professor remembers us. So we have some professor that follow us throughout the 6 years. So for example, a professor of general surgery, he does class in the first, third, fifth, and sixth year. And so he actually knows our names and remembers us. This is very, very nice. And also about practical activities, we are actually more at ease in doing them. So even though the tirocini start in the third year, we
Could we just,
actually...
forgive me, could we just explain for the people what tironcini means?
Yes, tirocini are like the mandatory practical activities, okay, where, for example, you follow classes. We are now following classes in pediatric, and then in June we'll do tirocini in the pediatric building, so we'll see what they normally do. Instead, throughout the first 3 years, since we are very few and we know professor, they allow us to go to surgeries, see them, allows us to participate in the wards. And this is very nice because even though you are a first-year student and you don't know a lot about medicine, so you're studying, for example, physics, actually you start to know how the hospital works, even though, of course, you don't know a lot about it.
Before talking about the DSM-5 criteria of anorexia nervosa, we need to specify two things. The first one is if it is of the restrictive type or of the binge eating and purging type.
I know it from pharmacology because now it's... Second line antipsychotics, such as, for example, choline. No.
It's not open, it's...
Clozapine.
Yes.
Clozapine. Okay. And what are the problems of clozapine?
Pericarditis, liver toxicity, and the last one?
No,
No, the
myocarditis.
last one was granulocytosis.
Right, so could we just talk a little bit about what's going on here, what we're doing, and why we're doing it?
Yes, like we were studying actually for an exam we are going to do, which is psychiatry exam. And what I normally do is that when I'm with the guys, so with Filippo, Marco, and Oleg, and we are trying to prepare the same exam, we try to study together. So normally we have a week in which we study, like a week, 2 weeks, it depends, of course, in which we study on our own, and then we see each other in classes around the gardens, in Policlinico, at my house, at their house, and we repeat all together. So we ask ourselves exam questions, questions about the program, in order to know better how to behave at the exam and also how to speak. Because one thing that for us Italians is quite normal is about having oral examination, but especially for foreigners here, we all notice that it's tougher just because you maybe are used to have multiple choice exams, written ones. And so it's very important to know how to speak in front of a professor, looking at his eyes, and this can be actually very disturbing for a person which is actually not used to. And so this is what we do in order also to know how to behave better. That's why.
Just like you're saying, the oral exam for us foreigners, it's a new concept. Not all countries have this, and just like you're saying, it's a multiple choice question usually. So apart from, what would you say is, so obviously it's more of a social thing, but also what do you think it does in terms of you becoming physician?
I think that is very important actually to practice because for me, for example, if I just study by reading and without actually repeating out loud, it is very difficult for me to explain other people stuff. So for me, it's very important actually to know what I'm studying, to repeat it out loud, and also because I think that in the next future we are going to become doctors, and so of course we need to know how to explain things to patients, and so it is very important actually to be able to socialize and to know how to explain medical stuff, medical material, how we diagnose, what are the procedures we're going to do. So practicing for oral exams altogether is very important because you have people around, and so you need to explain you so that the other people which are different from you are able to understand.
It's like it's training you. It's not just about examining yourself. Of course,
Exactly.
it's that part too. Do you know what you're talking about or not? But also preparation a bit for the patients that you're
Yes.
going to talk to. So you'll probably, I imagine, notice when you do something wrong or the way you talk or how you should express yourself. So do you agree with that?
I completely agree, yes.
You agree with that. Very Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, what would be like, so you're showing this for us and people interested in studying in Italy and Bari. You would say this is something that's common in all of Italy, not just in
Like
Bari,
studying in this way.
the oral exams in general.
Yes, I think it's actually something going on throughout Italy, especially in the Italian course. I know from other courses of medicine in English, for example, I'm from Bologna. I know that in Bologna, for example, very often they do written exams, like let's say to adapt to the international level.
And this would only be the English course in
Of the
Bologna,
English
not
course,
the
of course.
Italian one.
Not the Italian one.
That's all right, yeah.
So they try to change their modalities of examination in order to adapt also to international students. But here in Bari, like we have very few written exams. So just at the first year, we just have like genetics one, and also the third year, like organ of senses exam, which is written, but quite all the others are oral examinations. Yeah.
Oh, so what would you recommend for us foreign students in terms of getting, so we have showed a little bit with your classmates here about how to prepare a little bit for oral exams. Now, usually you wouldn't maybe find a classroom, maybe you go to the, is it the
Yeah, to
library
houses,
or at
yes.
someone's place, but what would you recommend for people that are foreigners, the best way to adapt for oral exams? Because this is going to be the majority of their
Yes.
exam life. They're going to be in front of a professor, and there's almost like a performance. You have
Yes.
to know what you're talking about. So, what are the
I
best
would
ways?
actually suggest them to find some friends, Italian, non-Italian, it's the same, and study on your own, but then compare what you studied with other students. Because very often when I study alone, because it happens that for exams I don't have friends to study with, I, for example, don't study some stuff because I think that it's irrelevant, but then maybe it can be relevant for the professor or for another student. So actually studying with my friends makes me able to compare what I studied respect to them and add material to my, to what I studied. And so I would suggest to a foreigner to study on your own, but then always compare what you study with others, just by repeating with friends as we are doing now, or just trying to match the program, see whether there are things you didn't study or not, and always anyway repeat alone or not alone out loud, like not in front of a mirror, but like you need to hear your own voice. This is what I think.